Going on, everyone? John Matrix here. Hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful day. We're going to be checking out another SCP video here. This one's going to be by the Vulcan. This is SCP-6511, Oblivion Access, Thamiel, K-Class Scenario SCP. This one has been requested by the community for me to check it out, so that's what we're doing. We're going to check this out today. As always, links will be down below in the description to the original video without my commentary and reaction, and to the Vulcan's channel. Please do me a favor, if you enjoy this video as we go through it, go over there and give it a like. And if you enjoy the Vulcan's content and you're not already subscribed to him, please do me the favor of going over there and hitting that sub button on his channel and showing the man some love. He definitely deserves it. Makes a lot of great content in the SCP universe and puts a lot of time and work into his videos, so please show them some support. If you'd like to join us when we do these reactions live, there is a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. If you've been around the channel for a while and decide you want to take your support to the next level, just check those out and see if any of that would have any interest for you. But regardless of all of that, let's jump into this video. Again, SCP-6511, Oblivion Access, Thamiel, K-Class Scenario SCP. Bada boop, bada bop. See what it's all about.
Clearance required. D11 eyes only. Emergency access.
No Dr. Miller on this one.
File is banned from all access at any clearance level and quarantined from the SCP database.
Interesting.
Access to this page is to only be attempted by the Department of 1 in the event of contingency 1 being called into effect. If you are not a member...
The Department of 1, I don't think I've heard of that before. Access page is only to be attempted by the Department of 1 in the event of contingency 0001 being called into effect. Interesting. I have no idea what any of that is, so I assume that means we're going to learn about it.
Of the Department of 1, stop reading immediately and close this page now. By opening the file below, you will immediately activate contingency 1 and understand the ramifications of such a process. This process cannot be reversed for any reason. By nature of your position, you have been granted access to trigger contingency 1 without the need for Overseer Council oversight.
This sounds like some kind of SCP that like resets stuff. That's what it sounds like already.
Is trusted that you,
because I mean they're already saying contingency, so like in the event of something super bad happening, this SCP is some kind of contingency plan to, you would think, fix things. So that's already the kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this.
Are aware of the circumstances requiring a contingency 1 activation and will not access this page early or without proximate and urgent need. If you wish to proceed with this action, a button only visible to you will permanently unlock the contents of this file.
Item number SCP-6511. Object Class Thamiel. Special Containment Procedures. You are to read this document and follow the instructions within. Description: SCP-6511 is a series of emergency protocols causing the intentional and near complete removal of the SCP Foundation and its constituent components from reality.
Interesting.
SCP-6511 is this page and all instructions and information within it, which acts as the outward manifestation of these protocols.
So the SCP is literally the page that you're reading, and by reading this page, you activate the scenario to happen that removes the SCP Foundation and anything regarding the SCP Foundation from reality itself. Fascinating. I wonder, because again, it's said to be a contingency plan, so contingency for what?
Do not stop listening. The mechanism allowing for the existence of SCP-6511 are inherently encoded into all people, objects, and concepts adjacent to the Foundation. The utilization of SCP-6511 is dependent on the activation of Contingency 1, a mechanism exclusively keyed to the Foundation Department of 1. Please note that SCP-6511 is only to be used in a scenario where the Foundation's continued existence is a threat to itself and to established reality.
Okay. So it's kind of like the idea that, you know, Batman has a contingency plan for if everyone in the Justice League goes bad and tries to kill and take over the world. That's essentially what this sounds like. It's a situation where somehow the O5 Council gets corrupted, gets, you know, turned, and they start doing, you know, evil, bad things using the SCP Foundation for their own personal gain instead of for the betterment of, you know, humanity, I guess. Then this is the contingency plan to wipe out the SCP and anything that has to do with the SCP. All members, task force, I would assume anomalies that the SCP has contained, stuff like that as well. Okay.
The Department of One was created as part of initial formulation of SCP-6511. It is unique in that it consists of a single individual which acts as its entire staff at any and all points in time. The death of a Department of One is immediately followed by the appointment of a replacement, and only one can exist at a time.
Interesting.
The current Department of One is to be isolated from the vast majority of Foundation operations, and not to be given additional duties beyond those granted by their department membership.
So it sounds like the Department of One is literally a branch of the SCP where it has this one person and their entire job is this contingency plan.
The preservation of the Department of One is to be ensured at all costs. If you are listening to this version of the document, you possess Department of One clearance. In a scenario where SCP-6511 protocols must be executed, it is currently your responsibility to activate the mechanism, neutralize the threat, and restore the SCP Foundation. By the nature of the consequences of activating SCP-6511, it is unknown how much of this or any other information you will retain following the activation. Potential threats that may require the activation of SCP-6511 are, by the nature of this protocol, almost entirely unknown and not understood.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be like the difficult thing, right? Because it would almost kind of be a judgment call. Like, I guess there would be scenarios in which it would be clear cut that, yeah, the SCP Foundation's become corrupt and we need to activate this protocol. But in others, that might not be so clear cut. Blah, blah. So, I wonder if there's a set of directives or whatever that they would have whoever is a part of this Department of One at the time, like to base their decision on whether or not to activate this, you know, protocol on, you know, do they have like a set of guidelines, like if this is kind of going on, seek this, and then if this, activate, you know, I don't know, because I mean, that's a lot of trusts, honestly, to put into one being's hands, like the literal power to destroy the entire Foundation and anyone affiliated with it. And I don't know if it would wipe out any of the SCPs contained or not as well, but potentially that too, I guess, right? Because they wouldn't want to just release all of the SCPs that they have in containment out into the wild. So, yeah.
There is very little information available to prepare the Department of One for their duty, apart from that which resides in this document. The success of the Department of One in restoring the Foundation is dependent almost entirely on factors outside of the Foundation's control. For these reasons, SCP-6511 should only be activated in cases where any other option would result in the destruction of the SCP Foundation, or worse.
So I wonder, like, who would really have access to the knowledge of the Department of One, right? Like, you would think that you would want, you would think there would be something that even only the administrator would probably know, right? You would think that this would be something you would want to keep from the O5 Council members as well, because in the more likely scenarios where this would have to be activated would be that members of the O5 Council would be corrupt in some way, taken over, whatever have you, and would be using their power and authority that they would have for, you know, whatever their own benefit is, or to destroy the world, or whatever the case might be. So I would think that maybe only the administrator would really have access to this information, if there even is an administrator, right? Because I guess in some SCP canons there isn't, you know, an administrator or an overseer or whatever. So it's like, who would really have knowledge of this, and who is the person that seeks to implement, I guess, like handing off the department of one's responsibility from one individual to another, you know, because if one dies, they have to have a replacement. And you would think they would probably also have people like scouting out candidates ahead of time to, you know, recruit for this position. So, yeah, I don't know.
The origins and creators of SCP-6511 are currently unknown. Similarly, the record of Contingency 1 activations is also unknown.
That's also very interesting right there, because that also kind of goes into what I was just talking about. So the origins of who created 6511 and this contingency of 001 are unknown. To me, it would, like, again, this is kind of my own personal headcanon and theory about some things. To me, from the Cactus Verse stuff, it sounds like the Department of Abnormalities, which was like the precursor to the SCP Foundation. To me, it almost sounds like they are dealing with anomalous threats that are beyond even the capabilities of the SCP Foundation, and that they almost have like set up the SCP Foundation as like, okay, the SCP Foundation deals with, you know, a certain level of threats that are the majority of issues, and then the Department of Abnormalities is like another super duper ultra secret organization that not even really the O5 Council knows much about, and they deal with even crazier threats. That's just kind of what my headcanon would be. So like, it would make sense if that were to be true, that this could be something that would be run and administered by the Department of Abnormalities as like a backup plan should the SCP Foundation become corrupt in some way. Other than that, I couldn't really think of anything else that would make sense.
Although inconsistencies in historical records of the...
Other than, I guess, maybe some kind of AI program that runs this. And like the sole purpose of the AI is to safeguard this exact protocol and to scout and recruit candidates for this specific protocol, you know.
The Foundation's also unknown, although inconsistencies in historical records of the Foundation suggest possible reference points. By virtue of your position, you are also believed to have knowledge of the SCP-6511 activation record that is not available to any other member of the Foundation. However, this suspicion has never been confirmed by you or any of your predecessors. If you have reached this section of the file, Contingency 1 has already been activated. Continue listening for further instructions. Do not stop listening under any circumstances.
Interesting.
The Department of 1, which is yourself, is a division of the Foundation that exists entirely outside of its sectional hierarchy. It is imperative that you understand the full responsibilities of the Department of 1 before you are forced to begin them shortly.
You are not safe here.
Okay.
The SCP Foundation has, for nearly the entirety of its existence, enjoyed the position of reigning warden over the anomalous world, if not the world at large itself.
Yeah.
It wields nearly unlimited political, financial, and physical power to the point that opposition to our goals is easily understood, confronted, or managed through the employment of the resources at our disposal. We have weathered many storms and come out relatively intact. We are tempted to view ourselves as the apex predators of the anomalous world.
Okay.
However, the greatest misconception of the average Foundation employee is that this does not mean we are invincible. Imagine a being with the traits of a perfect predator, a being that can match its prey's every move, parrying all attacks and breaking every defense, knowing exactly where it is at all times. These beings are the ultimate liability for the Foundation. A sufficiently powerful organization, entity, or other unknown force with the ability to relentlessly, completely, and instantly fix upon targets without needing even its knowledge is the only unbeatable threat to the Foundation. It will run.
True.
It will follow. It will shake off and adapt to our every attempted attack.
Basically, if they were to make an evil clone of the Foundation.
We are paralyzed, so resilient.
The Shadow SCP Foundation, if you will.
Stable, so swelled with our own power that nothing can stop the inevitable point where it finds our neon sign and pounces. When an entity is rendered prey, it essentially has two options: fight or flight, direct confrontation to neutralize the threat, or simply evading it until it is eventually shaken or lured away. But the perfect predator is unfazed by either. It will keep stalking you, never running out of energy or resources no matter how far you go. And when you least expect it, it will destroy you in an instant, leaving no trace. No time for you even to scream. Evolution will create such beings, ideal survivors, feeders, lurking in every corner of the anomalous world.
That's an interesting statement. Evolution will create such beings, ideal survivors, feeders, lurking in every corner of the anomalous world. So it's almost like a scenario where, by the sheer fact that the SCP Foundation exists, nature, evolution, the universe, whatever you want to say, is going to create greater and greater threats to balance out, combat, test the SCP Foundation. You know, it's kind of like the idea, again, going to like a Batman analogy, like the sheer fact that Batman exists offers, you know, greater opposition. It offers, you know, villains to come in and test their mettle against Batman, kind of a situation. By the sheer fact of these superheroes existing, they're inviting being tested by other villains of, you know, similar power. So it's almost kind of a statement like that. So that's an interesting kind of concept and idea of, you know, if you really think about it. I mean, I guess if the SCP Foundation were to not exist, would more powerful anomalies keep, you know, coming into existence or being discovered, being found? You know, would they need to be contained or not? You know, kind of a scenario. Interesting to think about.
Perfect defense is nothing to the perfect predator. In the face of such an entity, the only creatures that have a chance to survive are something entirely new. A perfect hider, something with the ability not just to run, but to disappear. The ultimate form of playing dead, to die for so long that the hunter that has marked you will grow bored of the chase, wither away, or even die. It is a waiting game, and for the entirety of that game, you must never, ever be found. If the Foundation is made the quarry of this hypothetical being, it must hide. These entities are real, and Department of One protocols are engaged when the SCP Foundation is targeted by such a predator.
The origin of this text is unknown. The activation of Contingency 1 and the opening of this file implies that such a threat to the Foundation has been identified. Not only this, but this threat is here.
Okay, so it's sounding more like this protocol is set up so that if there is some kind of entity, being, whatever, that can find, root out, and destroy the SCP Foundation, that this protocol is essentially made to mask the SCP Foundation from said creature, predator, whatever.
Present and further existence of the Foundation in its current form is no longer possible.
So yeah, I guess they're wiping out the SCP Foundation to hide itself, mask itself from this creature, hoping that, I guess, this anomalous being scenario, whatever, will go away, and then the SCP Foundation can rise up from the ashes, you know, in a new form, you know.
If this file has been opened, the entity that has caused the activation of this iteration of the Department of One has already detected the Foundation. It is impossible to say how close it is to seeing you. The protocols that you are responsible for are the process by which the SCP Foundation, its history, and record of existence and its knowledge as a concept are changed into a vastly different form that allows for it to remain undetected and absent from the world for an indefinite extended period of time. They are strictly only to be employed when all other options of dealing with an existential threat to the Foundation have been exhausted, and it is decided that the destruction of the Foundation is preferable to the alternative. The Department of One is the failsafe that is attached to this act of self-destruction. Its duty is to reverse the restructured reality and return the Foundation to normal existence when the time is right. The department is the sentinel, the torchbearer, that watches the threat for as long as it can, that holds the key that resurrects the Foundation from its long and deep sleep. They are the sole remaining employee of the Foundation during these periods, the key to unlock the shallow coffin. You are the designated survivor of the SCP Foundation.
Interesting.
As of your listening to this text, the SCP Foundation has been dissolved, effective immediately. Unlocking this secure page and connecting it to the main SCP database has released a rapid-affecting computer virus that is designed to circumvent all RAISA firewalls and lock the entirety of the Foundation's operating servers. Reality must be prepared for the change, and the lights are going out, one by one. You are currently the only remaining employee of the Foundation. You will receive no further contact or communication from any other member from the Foundation, including the Overseer Council, as it no longer exists. Your sole directive is to ensure the survival of the Foundation by any means necessary.
Interesting. So it also almost kind of sounds like it's a situation where this person is then supposed to essentially like, okay, Foundation's been wiped out, maybe even parts of the world, humanity could be at stake. I guess, you know, in a lot of these scenarios, that's what K-class scenarios essentially are, is when, you know, the world, humanity, whatever, essentially gets wiped out. So it almost sounds like then it's this person's responsibility to find SCP-2000 and restart things, right? Like,
if you have reached this section of the file, the current operational state of the Foundation has been saved and encoded in a secure location. Continue listening for further instructions. These are the instructions for the end of the world. You are to watch as the Foundation crumbles and turns into ash before your eyes. You are to feel the world shrink around you, collecting every last trace of that which must not be seen and hiding it away until the only remains are empty space. You will feel the taste of every fragment as it breaks away from the whole. You are to stand in the midst.
Can you imagine that? Like, your entire purpose is to literally watch the thing that you're supposed to like be a part of and I guess protect in a way, just be destroyed, and you're supposed to let it happen. Like, you're not supposed to take up any kind of arms other than, I guess, to maybe defend yourself so that you can make sure that this protocol gets enacted and things get restart. But like, watching the people you know and potentially care about, you know, be destroyed, be killed, the Foundation itself, the place you work, you know, like, and really, I guess, the world around you, like, Jesus.
Of the space. You are to ignore the dark creeping in at the edges of your eyes. You are to wait until it reaches you, and the borders of unreality nip at your skin. You will know that all is finally locked away.
It's getting some like pattern screamer shit now.
You are to close your eyes so that you can remember the shape and texture of the SCP Foundation in your hands. You are to burn the image of its disintegration into your brain so that when you find yourself forgetful on the other side of the door, you will still see us in your dreams.
It literally sounds like they're preparing this person for like a pattern screamer event that's going to wipe out everything. And on the other side, when a new universe gets created, it's this person's memories will be what restarts the Foundation or something.
You are to be responsible for the end of the SCP Foundation. You are to attempt to not cry out as the rapidly cascading reality finally shatters onto your body. You will fail. Remember what you say. You are to awaken in a world that has never seen the Foundation, in a life that you have always lived. You are to try and remember. You are to be followed by an enemy which takes a form that is unknowable. You are to be hunted to the death. You are to try and remember. You are to avoid death or destruction. You are to survive as long as is necessary until you understand how the threat is to be neutralized. You are to try and remember.
Jesus.
You will wait. You are the prisoner of time.
You are the prisoner of time. That is a crazy statement. Because like when you think about it, time would be against you in that kind of scenario, right? Whatever entity, being, or beings are destroying the world and have destroyed the Foundation, you're literally all that's left, and they are hunting you because you're the last vestige, the last piece of what was the SCP Foundation, the idea of what it is, the last memory of it. Yeah. No pressure, right? No pressure at all, right? Like you're literally, your memory is what's left of the Foundation, and what I guess could restart it in whatever this new world or reality is, and no pressure at all. It's fine. We got this.
You will watch just as it watches you. You will find a way to revert the changes in reality only when it is safe to do so. You must determine when safety is guaranteed. You are to bring back the SCP Foundation from a world where it does not and has never existed.
See, this, I think, would also be just a fascinating, like, story, miniseries, show, whatever, you know, like, think about the concept of this idea where the end of the world has happened, right? Let's say you're just a regular dude out there. The end of the world has already happened. We're in like a post-apocalyptic scenario. We're all in survival mode, and you're just a regular guy out there surviving, and you come across this person, and you know, whatever, they may be injured, you help them out, etc. And for whatever reason, somehow along the way, you learned that they were a member of this organization, and they are like the literal hope of humanity's future, kind of a situation. And so, you know, we follow them through whatever it is that needs to be done for this person to learn how to reset reality and then go about doing it. Like, that would be a pretty fascinating show to watch. I would be here for it if it was done right, you know? And it could go into all kinds of sci-fi and fantasy, you know, stuff with technology in the SCP universe, as well as whatchamacallit, anomalies and monsters and all kinds of stuff. I think that'd be pretty dope, pretty interesting.
We cannot tell you how this is done. We do not know. We have never known. You are to become one. If you have reached this section of the file, the Foundation's physical and informational structure has now been crippled beyond regular function. To conclude the CK class reality restructure, continue listening and follow the instructions. You are to read your eulogy. There is a dead tree just outside your window, where the last traces of the Foundation lie. You stand in the remnants of its shattered form. You breathe in its ashes every time you inhale.
Talk about depressing, you know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, no pressure, you know, no pressure at all. You're literally like the only hope of the Foundation and humanity to, you know, recover from whatever's going on. And you have to do this by yourself, essentially. No pressure. It's fine. It's fine.
Walk to it. You are responsible for the continued survival of the SCP Foundation and the consensus reality that is tied to it. You have always been responsible since the day you were selected and told you were the Department of One, and told that your only job was to sit there and live and waste away until you received the secure message telling you to find this file in the database and open it. You thought you would never receive that message, that they all had forgotten about you, because it was their job to. You were not told that this was always to be your final resting place, and that this was decided the moment you became what you were. In one sense, you are the only one that will remain alive past the break in reality. In another, you are the only one that will die.
God, yeah, think about that too. Like, again, everything will die around you and you'll be the last one left. But then if you manage to be successful and restart everything, you'll have died and everything else will restart, but no one will remember you. You'll have never existed, kind of a situation. Talk about an unsung hero, bro. Like, for real.
Everything else in this reality will be effortlessly restored when you return with your mission complete. They will not know that for a time indefinite, they did not exist and never existed. It is your responsibility to know that you destroyed them all, and then you will forget. You die when you forget that you lived this life in the first place. You will forget your entire life, the world you were a part of, the words that are written on this page and the audio contained within this document. That's the one catch in the plan we've never been able to figure out. You are now alone in a dead reality. You have received all the documentation for your role as the Department of One. There is no other help to give. The file has run out. You will leave everything behind. You lived a good, honorable life. Watch the tree carefully. Proceed to the designated location. This file will be the only one left online. Listen to the very end of this file. You are not safe here, but the Foundation will be. You have reached the end of this file. Contingency 1 is now complete. To execute all SCP-6511 protocols, find a resting place. You will be woken momentarily.
Talk about a mindfuck, dude. Like, Jesus. All right. Well, there we go. There we go. This is SCP-6511, Oblivion Access, Thamiel, K-Class Scenario SCP. I mean, it definitely went through a lot of different places, and obviously what I was thinking these contingencies were set up for were not on, you know, they weren't there at all. Essentially, I was definitely wrong. It's set up for a situation where the Foundation is a threat by some kind of existential crisis or being. Like, it almost really sounds like it's set up for in the event that, like, pattern screamers of some sort find the Foundation and have destroyed everything. And it's interesting that a lot of things sound contradictory. You're alone in the dead reality. You received all the documentation for your role as a Department 1. There's no other help to give. The files run out. You leave everything behind. You lived a good, honorable life. Watch the tree carefully. Proceed to the designated location. This file will be the only one left online. Listen to the very end of this file. You are not safe here. The Foundation you're not safer than the Foundation will be. You have reached the end of this file, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. There's things that just feel like contradictory, but also at the same time make sense. It's interesting. In one sense, you're the one that will remain alive past the break in reality, and in another, you are one that will die. Everything else in this reality be effortlessly restored when you return with your mission complete, you know? So, like, it almost sounds like your memories and your knowledge are the seed that is going to create whatever the next reality is. It almost like literally sounds like, okay, this reality's been destroyed. You are essentially responsible for the creation and jump starting of the next reality, the next universe, the next whatever, you know? Basically, you're going to be God. You've been selected to be God, and your memories, your consciousness whatever will be the seed to jumpstart the next universe, and whatever the image of the SCP Foundation will take, and all the people and everything from your memories will be reborn in this new universe, etc. You know, that's kind of really what it sounds like. And I mean, again, like, talk about that kind of responsibility, man, like, for real. And you know, what if, I guess if you fail, that's it. Like, existence just ends. There's nothing left, at least in this universe, this reality. You know, it's clear that, you know, the SCP universe is a multiverse situation, and, you know, this potentially has happened in other universes where it's been wiped out. You know, after just going through the Star of the Hateful and kind of, you know, dealing with these kind of, I don't know, the scenario of like some kind of ancient hateful creatures that are trying to consume and destroy the universe and all of reality in and of itself, and that only a handful of beings survived that and became the gods of the next reality. That sounds kind of like this contingency plan almost, you know. It sounds almost like that this is that scenario where there is some kind of existential beings that are consuming, have destroyed all of reality, and you are the seed to whatever the next universe is. You'll become, you know, whatever that is. So it's a fascinating story, and like I said, the concept of it would be one that I think could make an interesting, you know, show or just extended book or story or something like that. The idea of, you know, the world has ended, we're in a post-apocalyptic setting, this person has to reach this designated area to literally restart reality, and you know, that's kind of like the basis for the story, and who knows where it goes from there. You could just be the overall main character, again, could just be, you know, average Joe survival guy who has made it through so far and meets this person and somehow learns that they're the hope for whatever, you know. I don't know, there's a lot of different ways it can go, but it's definitely, this was definitely kind of a mindfuck scenario, and it definitely went a lot of different ways than what I was thinking it was going to go. I originally had thought it was going to be, okay, you know, should some kind of corruption seep into the SCP Foundation, this is a scenario that's set to wipe out the Foundation and restart it in some way. And obviously that's not the case. It's something far grander. It's something that seems to be a contingency that's even far grander, that if reality itself is destroyed, this is, you're going to restart the next reality kind of situation. So interesting. Fascinating story. But yeah, that was SCP-6511 Oblivion Access Thamiel K-Class Scenario SCP by the Vulcan. Links will be down below in the description, as always, to the original video and to the Vulcan's channel. Please do me a favor, if you enjoyed this video, go over there and give it a like, and if you're not already subbed to the Vulcan and you enjoy his content, please do me a favor, go over there and show the man some love. Hit that sub button on his channel. Definitely deserves it. He makes a lot of great content for the SCP universe, puts a lot of time and effort into his videos, so please give him some love. If you'd like to join us when we do these reactions live, there is a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. If you've been around the channel for a while and decide you want to take your support to the next level, check those out and get early access to videos, priority in any kind of reaction requests you might have, members Discord channel, etc. So checking all that stuff out, see if any of that would have any interest for you if you decide you want to go to the next level. Regardless, thank you guys very much. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving a like and a sub. That helps me and the channel grow. And yeah, I just appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see you on the next one.